How's it going? I actually want to make this video about something that you may think is very controversial, and I've had a lot of discussion with different restaurant owners about this, but I think that it is important to talk about, and that is surge pricing. Surge pricing is kind of I guess that's used within different industries right now, and it's something that a lot of big businesses do. But the main thing that I'm discussing here is for small business and restaurants specifically. So surge pricing is, I'm just going to discuss a little bit about what surge pricing is, some examples of who's using it right now, in examples of who's using it in the business currently, as well as why most restaurants won't do it, and just a couple ways that you can kind of switch your frame in order to do that. So myself, if you don't know me, my name is Tony. I've owned 5 restaurants over the course of the last 25 years, and now I help restaurants market their business and implement systems in their business in order to increase profit, get more organized, and save time. All right, so surge pricing, super quickly, is basically there's going to be certain times of the day that are busier than others, and there's businesses, and I have a list of businesses that actually do this in actuality right now. But my favorite example is going to be Uber. So as a restaurant owner, you're used to Uber Eats, and what happens is when customers order, let's say for example at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, the prices of the delivery are going to be very different than when it is on a Friday night. Or let's say, for example, you are heading downtown and it's going to cost you 25 bucks. But if it's during a busy time and or if there's a sports game downtown, it might go up to 80, 90 bucks. Or if you're going to the airport, or if you're going to a block away from the airport, it's a different pricing, and that's called surge pricing. Sometimes it feels like it's unfair, but at the end of the day, you're going to pay for it or you're not. So, Uber isn't the only company that does this. It's actually a lot of companies. And if you see here, I have a few examples. So Uber does this. A big one is airlines. Airlines do this like crazy. They bump up the prices during different times of the year, different seasons. When they know it's going to be busy, they're going to be increasing the prices. Ticketmaster does this as well. Amazon does this as well. And then even like gyms, for example, SoulCycle, when you're trying to get classes and it's during the peak hours, they increase the prices. So there's a lot of businesses that are doing it. And the reason they're doing this is for one real big reason. They're here to make money, and they know that customers and clients are going to come and they're going to use their services regardless of what their price is going to be, because they're just used to use it. Obviously, it's not going to be astronomical, but if there's a 5 or 10% increase, it's not going to make a big difference to them, but it's going to make a massive difference to the business over the course of time. So who's doing it in our industry? So if you haven't heard, Wendy's was one of the first businesses to actually announce that they're going to do it, and they were heavily scrutinized for it. So in early 2024, Wendy's announced a plan to invest $20 million in digital menu boards by 2025, aiming to explore strategies like dynamic pricing. So they use a different word called dynamic pricing instead of surge pricing, but it's basically the same thing. What they said, and if you look here in summary, while Wendy's explored dynamic pricing and pricing strategies, they clarified that they did this not to intend and implement surge pricing that would raise prices during peak times, but instead to focus on offering discounts during slower times. And I think that's a bunch of BS, because they were getting some bad press about it. I mean, at that level, they're dealing with a massive audience. And I think that they were just, trying to squeeze out of what they were going to do. But they're not the only ones that are going to be doing this. If you go to McDonald's, for example, I'm not saying that they do it, but let's say, for example, you go to McDonald's and you get a Big Mac and you know how much it is. The thing is, though, is if they raise it 5, 10, 15 cents on a different day of the week, are you really going to notice? Unless you're eating there every week or whatever. I order coffee all the time. I go to the same place. If they raise an extra 20 cents, do you think I'm going to notice? I won't. I'm just going to tap my card and move on, just the same way that Uber does. Uber, people aren't even looking at the credit card statement. They're not even looking at how much they're spending. All they're doing is getting a car. The cars come in, they're picking them up, dropping them off, and you're getting your bill later. And that's when you might notice there was a little bit of a surge. But in the restaurant business, it might be like again, $1, 20 cents, something like that. So why restaurants, I put this here because I think it's important to kind of like switch your frame, why most restaurants won't do this or don't think to do this. So number one, restaurant owners are really price sensitive. We feel that our clients or our customers are going to be scrutinizing our prices all the time. There's a big discrepancy between value and price. People don't come to your restaurant so they can have food. If they wanted food, they go to the supermarket. They come to your restaurant to dine. So if they're coming to your place, it's because you have something special to offer them. And if you don't have something special, you should start thinking about it, because they're there to try something different. It's all about the experience, about how you make them feel. Now, if you change the price of your menu for $1, $2 on different days of the week, they may notice, they may not notice, but at the end of the day, you're there to make money. Profit is the most important. I mean, it might not be the passion behind it, but it's definitely the going to be the lifeblood of it. We're here to make money. We're here to make profit. And if we can think of creative ways like surge pricing in order to do that, I think you should consider it. If you're not planning your profits, then you're not profiting. If you are anticipating that you're going to be making a 15 or 20% profit and you don't know your numbers and you're not planning in advance, so for example, if I know that my burger costs $10 and my labor and my food costs $6 with my overhead at $2 per burger, then I'm making a 20% profit. If I have to hire extra people, or if my meat goes up and I'm not adjusting those prices to make sure that I'm making that profit, then I'm not going to make that profit. It's super simple. So you have to make sure that you understand your numbers, and surge pricing could help with that specifically, because when you're dead on a Friday night, people might be price sensitive. But if you're really busy every Friday and Saturday night and you can increase your pricing even a little bit, you can make a massive difference in your bottom line over the course of, a month, a year, and the years that you have your business. Your customers don't look at the pricing like you do. We scrutinize every penny and we think from our pockets. Our customers don't think from our pockets, they think from theirs. If your clients are penny pinchers, then, open a McDonald's, because you're not going to beat the value. But if you have a restaurant, create an experience and something that they can relate to and enjoy and share with their family. And they're not penny pinching. They're not looking at the numbers. Like I said, if they wanted food, they go to the supermarket. You can't beat supermarket pricing. So create a dining experience, something that they can enjoy, and they're going to pay for it. It's value, not price. So you have to really change your frame. And here's a couple examples of ways that you can actually do that so that you can make a difference in your business. And these are just examples of what everyday businesses do, but this might be something that you can wrap your head around surge pricing and how you can apply it in your business. Now, if you saw, Wendy's actually had a board that would change the pricing, but if you have a full service restaurant, here just use different menus. So as an example, a brunch menu could be something completely different. It could be, that people are going to come to your business for brunch, and you have a regular menu during the week that has breakfast on it or not. You can increase the pricings for your brunch, but that's a quick one that most people do. Happy hour menus. So happy hour menus, people just reduce the price. Don't ever just reduce the price of something. What you want to do is actually reduce the portion size and make it a smaller portion, so that if you know that at this time between the happy hour you can get like a beer at this price and a burger at this price, but it's going to be a smaller portion, or a quote unquote lunch portion, then you're going to be able to get a better price. And then when it goes into the dinner menu, it's going to be a higher price because it's more food and you're getting better value. And the last one is actually weekday and weekend pricing. And I think this is the smartest way to do that, is if you have two menus, and they don't have to be identical, they can be if you want them to, is you have a weekday pricing from, let's say, from Tuesday to Thursday, a weekday pricing, and then on Friday and Saturday, you actually have a weekend like a weekend menu, and you have weekend pricing, and that could be something that's quote unquote like surge pricing, that you can increase the prices because you're going to get just smashed on a Friday or Saturday night, and people aren't going to be worrying about, am I paying an extra $1 for this pizza, or if I'm doing this, but you on your bottom line, it's going to make a massive difference. So ultimately, I want you to think about your menu, think about your pricing. You have to know your pricing. And then if you can see when your restaurant is busy. So if you're not busy on Fridays, I don't recommend it. If you're not busy on Saturdays, I don't recommend it. But typically businesses are going to have business on Fridays and Saturday nights. And that's when you can implement just a small increase on your menu that your customers aren't going to be upset, but you're going to be able to benefit from the increased profit, and it's going to go straight to your bottom line. Now, I think it's controversial to think about it, but when you think about it with two different ways of menus, like weekday menu and weekend menu, it makes a lot more sense. But let me know your thoughts about surge pricing. Give me some comments below. Let me know what you think. Could you apply this in your business, or is it something that you think that your customers would be super price sensitive? Ultimately, we're here to make some money and serve some good food at the time and give people some really good hospitality. Let me know if this could affect that. So yeah, looking forward to hearing your comments.